Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing something incredible. You don't feel tired. Not because you got a good night's sleep, because sleep is no longer necessary. Your brain doesn't need it, your body doesn't need it, and neither does anyone else on Earth. Just like that, humanity gains around 8 extra hours every single day. At first, this sounds amazing. No more alarm clocks, no more insomnia, no more dragging yourself out of bed on Monday morning, and perhaps most importantly, no more spending nearly 1/3 of your life unconscious. The average person sleeps about 2,900 hours every year. That's 121 full days. Over an 80-year lifetime, you'll spend roughly 26 years asleep. So if sleep suddenly disappeared, it would feel like humanity had discovered a way to extend life itself. But here's something strange. Sleep seems like a terrible evolutionary strategy. Think about it. Every night, animals become vulnerable. They stop paying attention to their surroundings. They move less. They react slower. For millions of years, that should have made them easy targets for predators. Yet almost every animal sleeps. Even fruit flies sleep. Some researchers have even observed sleep-like behavior in jellyfish, despite the fact that jellyfish don't have a brain. So if evolution never got rid of sleep, it must be doing something incredibly important. And it turns out it is. For a long time, scientists thought sleep was simply a way for the brain to rest. Today, we know that's not true. In many ways, your brain is almost as busy while sleeping as it is while awake. One of the most fascinating discoveries came in 2012, when researchers identified a cleaning system inside the brain known as the glymphatic system. Throughout the day, brain cells produce waste products. Some of these waste products are associated with diseases such as Alzheimer's. While you're awake, that waste slowly accumulates, but when you fall asleep, something remarkable happens. The spaces between brain cells expand by as much as 60%. This allows cerebrospinal fluid to flow through the brain more efficiently, washing away metabolic waste. It's basically a giant cleaning cycle. Imagine never taking out the trash in your house. For a few days, things might seem fine. After a few months, not so much. But cleaning isn't the only thing happening. Sleep also plays a huge role in memory. Every second, your senses collect enormous amounts of information. Researchers estimate that your brain receives millions of bits of sensory information every second. Fortunately, it doesn't store all of it. While you sleep, your brain appears to sort through the day's experiences. Important information gets strengthened. Less useful information gets weakened or discarded. Scientists studying rats found that after the animals learned to navigate a maze, the same patterns of brain activity replayed while they slept. It's almost as if the brain was reviewing footage from earlier in the day. Without this process, learning would become far less efficient. Now, let's imagine that somehow all these functions continue working perfectly. The brain cleans itself, memories are stored correctly, health remains unaffected. Sleep simply becomes unnecessary. What happens next? The first consequence is obvious. Time, lots of it. An extra 8 waking hours every day means an additional 56 hours every week. That's more free time than many people currently spend at work. Over a lifetime, you'd gain more than 230,000 extra waking hours. That's enough time to earn several university degrees, learn multiple languages, read thousands of books, or completely reinvent your life multiple times. The economic effects would be enormous. The global economy currently produces over $100 trillion of value every year while operating under the assumption that everyone disappears for about 1/3 of the day. Remove sleep, and suddenly humanity gains billions of additional working hours. Factories could operate continuously. Businesses could remain open around the clock. Entire industries might become 24-hour operations. Cities would change dramatically. Imagine walking through a city at 3 a.m. Restaurants are full, gyms are crowded, construction crews are working, schools are open. The streets are just as busy as they are during the afternoon. For the first time in history, cities might never truly sleep. But there would be downsides too. Work expectations could increase. If everyone suddenly has 8 additional waking hours every day, employers may eventually begin expecting more productivity. Historically, technological advances don't always create more leisure time. Sometimes they simply raise expectations. The average person experiences thousands of dreams throughout their life. Scientists estimate that most people have 4 to 6 dreams every night, even though they forget most of them. That means an average person may experience over 100,000 dreams during their lifetime. Without sleep, all of them disappear. Until you realize scientists still don't fully understand why dreams exist. Some researchers believe dreams help process emotions. Others think dreams help strengthen memories. One theory suggests dreams evolved as a survival simulator, allowing our ancestors to practice dangerous situations without real-world risks. Essentially, your brain may be running free virtual reality simulations every night, and we'd lose them forever. Sleep may also contribute to creativity. Some famous discoveries reportedly emerged from dreams. The chemist August Kekulé claimed that the structure of benzene came to him during a dream. Many artists, musicians, and inventors have described similar experiences. Modern neuroscience suggests sleep allows the brain to form unusual connections between ideas, connections that might never occur during normal waking thought. Without sleep, humanity might become slightly less creative. And then there's a surprising surprisingly strange question: how would sleep affect our perception of time? Right now, every day has a clear ending. You wake up, you live your day, you go to sleep, then everything starts again. Sleep acts like a divider between experiences. Without it, life becomes continuous. Days blur together, weeks become harder to distinguish, months may seem to pass more quickly. Ironically, having more waking hours might make life feel shorter, not because you're living less, because everything begins blending into one endless stream of consciousness. And perhaps that's the biggest surprise of all. When most people think about sleep, they think about lost time, 8 hours that could have been spent doing something else. But there's another consequence that most people never think about. The planet itself might struggle to keep up. Right now, billions of people are asleep at any given moment. That means lower electricity usage, lower internet traffic, fewer vehicles on the road, and less overall consumption. If humanity suddenly stayed awake 24 hours a day, global energy demand could rise dramatically. Data centers would need to process more information. Factories would run longer. Transportation systems would operate continuously. Even something as simple as food consumption could increase. After all, if you're awake for an extra 8 hours every day, chances are you're going to get hungry. And speaking of food, agriculture might face new challenges as well. More active humans would likely require more resources, more products, and more services. The environmental impact could be far larger than most people imagine. But perhaps the strangest change would happen in space. Astronauts aboard the International Space Station already experience 16 sunrises and sunsets every day as they orbit Earth. Their schedules are carefully managed to maintain healthy sleep cycles. Without sleep, future astronauts traveling to Mars could remain productive throughout the entire journey. A trip to Mars currently takes around 7 months. That's more than 5,000 hours of travel time. Normally, humans would spend about 1,700 of those hours asleep. Without sleep, every single one of those hours could be used for research, maintenance, or exploration. Long-distance space travel might become significantly easier, and maybe that's where a sleepless humanity would eventually lead. Imagine giant colonies on Mars, massive space stations orbiting distant planets, civilizations operating around the clock because no one needs rest. At first, it sounds like the beginning of a science fiction utopia, but there's one final question. Would life still feel the same? Many of our most important moments are connected to sleep. Falling asleep next to someone you love, staying up late talking with friends, waking up excited on your birthday, sleeping before a big exam, sleeping before a wedding, sleeping before the biggest day of your life. These moments are so normal that we rarely notice them. Yet they've been part of the human experience for thousands of generations. Without sleep, humanity might become more efficient, more productive, maybe even more advanced. But we would also become something slightly different. Something less familiar, because sleep isn't just a biological function. It's part of what makes us human. And maybe that's why evolution never got rid of it. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments. If you could choose, would you get rid of sleep forever? See you in the next video.